I'm slowly learning how to be a YouTube. And now we're on a Twitch, so I guess I need to learn that too. What's going on, everybody? Jason's been bragging all day about killing us. He's been private messaging me terrible, harassing things involving Sesame Street puppets, so I'm terrified, personally. Send help! But also, we're back for one more episode of A Simple Job, our Pathfinder Playtest All Rogue Party, before we have our fourth man, and we'll have a rogue fighter running around with us. So, all the marshals, all the sneak attacks, and as always, Jason, Josh, thank you guys so much for your support on Patreon. Levi, thank you for all the blackness that you broadcast into all of our hearts and for making Silver Sheen. Both are very important to all of us, especially me, because I don't want to die to vampires. But I've rambled enough. I will pass it on over to Jason because I'm not GM in this one. I'm just a humble rogue monk. So, Jason, take it away, bud.
Okay, few minor housekeeping things real quick. Technically, Silver Sheen is Silver Weapons Blanche. So there are two things y'all need to know about it.
Okay.
One, it only is good until your first successful hit.
Mm-hmm.
And second, it requires that the weapon be held in a fire to adhere to the metallic surface.
So, counter argument: Silver Sheen is an alchemical item that exists in the playtest. Does it actually say that? You can slather this silvery paste onto a melee or thrown weapon or a bundle of ammunition for the next hour. Any physical damage the weapon or ammunition deals is silver. Applying Silver Sheen to a weapon or ammunition temporarily replaces any damage type from its special mats, such as cold iron. One vial coats one melee weapon, one thrown weapon, or 10 pieces of ammunition. So I think you might be pulling from Legacy Pathfinder on that one. I've never... You were the one who used all the silver stuff in Legacy Pathfinder.
Yeah, but I also made sure I got mine as a silvered, alchemical silver coat to the, instead of the weapons blanche. Mm-hmm. That's why I was able to continuously silver. Maybe I was looking at the wrong book.
This is entirely possible because this is legitimately like a low level alchemist item that's supposed to be passed out to people. So
okay, and the other deal is holy water. I messed up. Holy water is water that in your case, a good divine caster has used bless on. Mm-hmm. So technically, an alchemist cannot make it, but I'm going to say that Lillian made enough that basically before the entire incident at the market, you had decided to make fire twigs or something similar, and you swapped it for the number of holy water y'all have now. So,
okay, I am checking. I don't know
if I check magical crafter feat, but I don't know if that would be for specifically holy water.
Yes, the way I read it is holy water is specific to a good divine caster.
And also, it does not appear on the list of alchemical items, so it's not something Lillian could have made in the first place. That one tracks.
Well, I'm saying I had magical crafting feat.
Oh, yes. So then he technically would be able to do it.
Well, but if the requirements of the crafting require like a bless spell or something, I can't do it.
Right, which is not listed anywhere in Holy Water's entry in the playtest.
Okay, maybe I read in the old one.
Yeah. There's definitely... Hang on one sec. This vial contains water blessed by a good deity. You activate a vial of holy water by throwing it as a... But there's no, like, the Holy Avenger immediately above it. That has a craft requirement. Yeah. Holy water does not.
Okay.
Though it does seem fair to say that if someone can't cast Bless in the party, then we'll go beat up Ross and he'll play a rogue cleric and that problem will be solved. But that's neither here nor there.
I'll just call it good where it stands.
Okay, fair enough.
make sure I have, yes, there we go. I want to make sure it's easy for me to find all the special thingies I have waiting for you.
Oh, good.
Hey, I wouldn't want y'all to feel unloved.
Of course not. Send help. We're in danger. We're all in danger.
Okay. Well, I found a good picture of Thrushmore. However, I don't have a good way to share it.
That's all good.
So basically, when y'all get to Thrushmore on the ship, you come in to port, and what do y'all do? Okay, y'all have did we hit port before we ended
port
last time?
We hit port, and I chased after a bunch of people that weren't from my homeland.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, remember and Tommy had a whole discussion in character about that.
Mm-hmm. That we did. Yeah.
Curse those natural fumbles.
Curse my rolling badly. Welcome to Pathfinder.
Welcome to my life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you haven't. Josh has rolled bad and then thrown dice out of his apartment into a field. You haven't seen you do that yet, so you're not as bad off as he is. No shade, to clarify.
Seriously, I think a deer may have eaten that dice by now.
Oh, poor deer. Ow. Oh dear. There you go. There's your pun.
Da, da, da. Okay, so y'all are currently in town. There's been that entire incident, but now y'all have all met back up at the dock where the ship is. What do you want to do now?
Well, honestly, since there's a timer ticking on us, and we need to get to the other side of Usalov pretty darn quick. Depending on what time of day it is, Sealimgar might want to tell.
I'm not going to keep reminding you of that. I'm not going to remind you every time of that.
Dale just has that "we have work to do" face. He's got his game face on.
Like I did last time. I said we got to go.
Yeah, so Sealimgar, especially after embarrassing himself in front of a bunch of people, might, unless it's like the middle of the night, might want to just like break down on the road now and head out.
So this little halfling child that I paid to ask about maps.
Oh yes, I forgot about that.
Yes. Well, there's one other thing that I would like to do.
Okay.
Can everyone make your choice? Roll me either a wisdom or an intelligence check.
Okay.
Flat die.
Okay.
Sorry. Wisdom or intelligence with your mod.
Okay, so that'll be wisdom from Sealimgar.
This is intelligence.
Says the alchemist.
It doesn't matter.
15. I did it. I won.
Okay.
Yeah, I rolled off my intelligence.
Yeah. Okay. Lillian, you're focused on getting a map. Joshua, you feel like there's something you should be doing. And Sealimgar, or sorry, Dale.
No, that was definitely me. Sealimgar was the
and Sealimgar, you see a small scroll poking out from Dale's pocket.
Okay. Does it look new? Does it look like something we haven't seen before?
No, it reminds you strongly of something you've seen before.
I might. I don't necessarily want to like steal the thing from him, but Sealimgar will walk by Dale and just kind of like tap the scroll, like bounce it in his pocket a little bit. 'Cause I don't have a
Okay.
reason to grab the plot device that's been clearly presented to me. But it's just kind of like, hey, this is falling out of your pocket. Tap it.
Do you say that to me?
No. I might like say it with my eyes as I walk past, just like slap it, walk past.
Okay.
All right. Let me.
Gee.
I should probably roll a perception check. See if I notice that he's interacting with me like that.
Over my deception DC, which is not much. Actually, it's quite a bit. I'm expert in that. Oh no, we're in trouble. Target is a 17. Oh. Okay, so when Dale clearly doesn't notice that I'm trying to indicate a thing, just like your pocket, Avistani. Something is falling out of it. Still a little like embarrassed that you saw the whole ordeal that went down earlier. That I almost died.
Really? So I like tap both of my sides and I notice the scroll and I'm like, what's this doing here? I didn't have a scroll in my pocket, I don't think. And I'm going to not be the dumb person, and I'm going to I want to do a perception
for
roll
traps.
to see if it's trapped.
Seems good. Says the party of entirely rogues. Why, yes.
Uh,
Oh no. I might do the same.
if it, go ahead.
I don't have trap finding, so I don't get the +1, but I can still try the perception check anyway. +8. Here we go. Okay, +8. Boom. 26! I have the power of Lillian this session.
Yeah.
You
did it.
you look at it, and you recognize it as the scroll that Merle gave you to give to his person in the city.
Oh god damn, that's twice! That's 2 times, Josh! We have forgotten important things that could have got us killed. We are so bad at this. I am so bad at tabletops.
Okay, I am going to have to get the sign that says GM hint to player characters.
Just hold it up in front of your camera. Stop screwing up, team.
Okay, so I need to go so I'm going to go try to find the person that this scroll needs to get to.
Okay.
Let me do
Are
a
y'all going to split the party, or are you going to go with Lillian and the chest?
We should all definitely stay together, and I'm not just taking GM hints this time, because there's definitely delicate goods that we have to escort across the breadth of this country.
/ going a mile away from a nuke.
Means we die. Yeah, we already made that mistake once, session 1.
/ we're carrying a big chest, and that may attract people who don't know the story and want to take the chest from us.
Accurate. Okay, so
how did the map stuff resolved? I think I robot died internet for a second while that was being discussed.
Okay.
I realize there's a scroll. I need to go find the person it needs to go to because I made a promise to Merle, and Lawful says I have to keep my promises.
Okay, so on the map issue.
Well, as you do you say something about needing to get the scroll to someone while the little halfling child is there?
Sealamgar, if Dale starts saying that, Sealamgar might like elbow Dale in the ribs. I can't do I can so do wolf style with my elbow. I can unarmed strike with any part of my body. That's why monks are cool. So not to like to do damage, but just enough to like maybe knock the wind out of him real quick, and then just look over him like with the sharpest no. Not saying no, but just like death glaring at him real quick.
Okay, so I stop saying what I'm saying and just like
I'll look at the direction of the halfling child and like just kind of like look back and look at him and look back.
That's okay, gentlemen. It's none of my business. I just didn't know if you wanted me to help you find whoever it is you need to find. But uh, are you looking for navigation maps, naval maps? We have a cartographer up near the Sleepless Agency headquarters.
Well, what sort of map? Well, okay. Trying to think what sort of map would I most want for just finding the best way to navigate to get. Probably more of a, like, the cartographer would be helpful. We don't really need C map particularly. I don't think.
Uh, yeah, you're not going to need, I doubt you're going to need navigation charts for the entire Bay of Avalon, unless you really want it.
As soon as we're done here, that's the next quest. We'll come back and we'll be pirates this time. Yeah, no, we don't even like looking at a map of Ustalov now. The river stops as we get to the mountains, so like we're gonna be hoofing it for most of the way. So any water or anything seems bad.
But seeing as we're all together now, and yeah, I actually think it might be better if you just take me to the cartographer now. I didn't want to leave the port without my compatriots.
Okay, sir. Okay, GM forgets. Have I already taken money from you, or have you already offered?
I don't think
I have paid him a silver as the initial.
And he happily says, "Come on, gentlemen, this way," and walks you, call it half to 3/4 of a mile. It's beside a building. Roll me society check.
Can do. Not maybe as well as Levi, but can attempt. 1-2. Nice.
Double
Okay.
check.
Tommy's got the good rolls. Okay. Good. Ha! Damn it! He's cheating. RNG hacks. That works.
As you walk up, you recognize a building close at hand as the Sleepless Building, otherwise known as the headquarters locally of the Sleepless Agency. Y'all know that it sells security. They are well known. They have guards. They rent out private detectives. They're known for their blood magics, blood forensics, alchemical forensics. And Dale, you actually recognize the person walking out of it right now as Cecida Wintz, which is the founder of the Sleepless Agency. And,
Okay.
and he's saying goodbye to person standing there at the door, and they're walking on. At this point, the little halfling boy says, sir, right over here, and points you to a map. It's marked as Philmont's map, and it has Philmont the Geographer and it has resident geographer / cartographer.
Why, yes, that does sound like a Jason NPC.
So y'all go in, bell rings, and as your eyes adjust to the darkened state of the shop, you hear a happy voice from the back. Gentlemen, just a moment. I shall be there shortly. And you hear clanks and thuds in the back of this small shop. And then out comes a well-dressed gnome. His clothing is obviously expensive and brightly colored, which helps because it's also perception checks everyone.
It's also time for the perception check. Let's see. 17. Could be worse. Could obviously be better. Thank you, Levi.
You're quite welcome.
Yeah, I am. You're on my team.
Oh, and is my picture different now?
Because
I'm showing.
Not. I see only the blackness.
Okay, because it's presenting as different for me, but whatever.
It'll be fine.
Oh well. Yes, we only see the blackness of your soul.
Yeah,
Levi the nobody.
Okay, Silumgar and Dale, you notice he's wearing wild colored clothes, even for a gnome. He's pretty stylish. And lots of small patches of color. Lillian, you realize that his clothing is actually white. It just has been dyed so many places with colored ink that it's kaleidoscopic tie-dye.
Ugh.
Gotcha.
Okay, that's a thing. Does it actively like shift as we look upon it?
No, it doesn't.
Okay, fair.
It's clear that it's clear to you that when it was bought, it was completely pure white. But over time,
it just happened.
It's organically bright and colorful given his profession.
Oh, yeah, gotcha.
And map making enthusiasm. Yes, gentlemen. And you, madam, what can I do for you this fine day?
I'm looking into maps of the area. We're travelers near here, and it's always much easier when you know where you're going.
Ah, yes. Though wandering itself can be its own reward. Are you looking for local, county, navigational charts? I have a wide variety. Please tell me what you need. I am almost positive I have it, and if I don't have it, I can create it.
Let's see. Okay, so as a player, do I know the general direction we're aiming to go?
Northern border.
Okay.
Croncris is basically just a straight shot directly north from where we are.
Okay.
Yeah, more or less.
Cool. We're looking to travel north, mostly overland, and just wanted to be sure we know what we were getting into.
Well, that always is determined by place and time, isn't it? But as far as maps, how far north are you looking? Up to the crown of the world? I have several some large area maps available. And he digs in, pulls out a scroll that's about, you would guess from the size of the wrapping, the wooden dowels at the ends for it to be folded back into itself as a scroll. The dowels are about 5 foot long, and as he levers it up, you're guessing it's a good 10 foot across.
Dang.
That feels a lot more than I need right now.
He's a little much, little guy. Oh, that's effort for a gnome. No, please. And Zilgar will like take the map lest this little guy hurt himself. We are only traveling to Castle Cronquist.
Oh, I don't have many people traveling to there. Yes, I do have several maps that go to the border. Are you looking for just to the border, for north?
Just to the castle.
Oh. Yes, I have several that are just of the of Ustalav. How detailed are you looking for? Are you just looking for physical terrain, established settlements? Please tell me what you want, and I'll do my best to find a map that meets your orders. And if you want something specific, I can create one from my selection. And he points to a wall, and that wall probably has 3,000 different scrolls on it, all of them, several of them the size of the one he just picked out of that wall. So it does look like he can produce anything y'all want.
Fair enough.
I think a good cartographer, we'd like a map with the journey from here to Castle Conquest, including the best places to camp that are going to have protection from people that would want to ambush us.
Established roads, towns, anything you can help us with, please.
Now, that I can do. As always, in my own wanderings, I found that it depends on the time of year and the various states of the various bands. But what I can give you are major passages, any roads, larger settlements. I won't have every village, but I should have most of them. Are you looking for me to actually chart you a path, or just to provide enough to create? If I plan your route for you, it will be an additional fee, but I can do that. That's not a problem.
It seems fine with me, looking at Lillian and Dale.
How much of an extra fee?
Well, my first question is, do you want ease of travel, speed of travel?
Speed of travel. Speed of travel.
Indeed.
Yes.
Oh, speed of travel. I can yes. Let's call it an additional 10 gold. I can have a map of everything. He starts going over and starts pulling several of the maps out of his filing system, which evidently he understands perfectly. But he's picking one off of the top shelf, climbing down the ladder, picking one out of the bottom. Let's call it 25 gold total.
Can we swing it, guys?
I slap the 25 gold on the table and say, "Make it so."
Ah, yes. Thank you, Captain Picard.
The the gnome quickly looks over. Captain, would you have any need of seafaring maps, of I have a number of those too.
I don't believe so.
Yeah, no. I could
Oh,
definitely
well.
see us at some point possibly paying like a barge travel along like along the various waterways, but I don't think we need sea map.
Okay.
Also, that's it. With
what?
that in mind, how much time has passed since we got our task? Has it been a day?
It's been
You said 5 or 6. That's how long it took us to get here.
Oh yes, that is correct.
uh,
I remember that now. That's a thing.
yeah, I will call it 5.
All right, so we have 25 days left to book it across all of Ustalav, and yeah, if we definitely can maybe find a way to do that, that would be faster.
But since you did specify speed of travel, he will do everything he can to make that happen. Well, gentlemen, I will have this chart ready for you first thing in the morning. You arrived at it's late afternoon,
Okay.
so you would probably be able to get in an hour or so of travel before daylight ends. But
even then, we'd have to double back and pick up the map.
right, and
we still have to deliver the scroll.
Correct.
And I saw Weiss, this guy I know named Weiss, leaving, and I want to go find him because I got a bone to pick with that guy.
oh well, very good, gentlemen. As I said, first light tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
And at that point, he starts lighting some additional oil lamps with reflectors around his section. You notice that he has mirrors to concentrate light on a work table, and he's starting to you hear him muttering to himself, well, if he goes through the highlands here, that goes to Waite Span, and it's clear he's deep engrossed in creating this plan and this map for you as quick as he can.
Seems good to me.
That's good.
So it seems like my next thought might have been to go talk to like somebody who owns a barge, but I don't know the path we're taking yet. So I guess for the rest of the night, all we really need to do is go deliver the scroll. I can't think of anything else I want to do anyway.
I need to find that Weiss guy.
Okay. GM question to player. You're looking for the creator of the Sleepless Agency?
Yeah, you said he knows me, and I definitely know him.
No, you recognized him. You said you're going to go ahead and deliver the scroll.
I'll hand Selamgar the scroll and say, "You got it, man. I'm going to Five Rants, or however you pronounce that last name."
Names are hard to pronounce.
Watch your head.
The world, I'm sorry. I'm not letting you go out of my sight. And oh wait, I get it. Ha! Took me a second, but I'm with you now. Sealingar would also tap just above his choker. We stay together. We deliver the scroll. I think if the leader of this organization wants to talk to us, I think they will come and talk to us. They have no business doing that again.
That dude owes me money. Fine.
We can worry about that when we're not worried about dying.
Okay.
So do we know where the scroll is going? Do we know who we're delivering it to?
You were told that okay, I'll call it a DC 10 intelligence check.
Deal. Plus 2. 21.
The person's name is
I find Levi. Gosh.
Tomas D'Aquitaine, and you were told that you could ask any member of the Dockers Guild.
Okay.
Or the
That's
Dockers Guild.
That's not the guild that makes pants, by the way.
Ah, yes, of course. We buy our pants from the Levi's Guild. Which is not talking about the player. Also, blue jeans. Blue jeans. Just to clarify.
I will
While the
accept
player
your money.
wishes.
And suddenly all of my pants come from Ohio. Okay. So, Sealingar, I'm going to assume that we brought the cart with us because none of us are strong enough. And indeed, Kane does in fact ask, what about the Wranglers Guild? The Trip Guild would be the guild I bought most of my pants from, but those sweet baggy pants with the chains don't exist in 2019.
Suddenly
Also,
we're the
adult.
Suddenly we're the sequel to that Traveling Pants movie.
The Brotherhood of the Traveling Pants! Playtest all
Yeah.
Rogue Party! Tuesdays, 6 to 9 on twitch.tv.
Yes, I know, as opposed to Professor Elemental and his fighting trousers.
Well, I'm assuming we have the cart with the ponies with us. Again, between a rogue alchemist, a rogue monk, and a full rogue, nobody's carrying that chest. So Tilumgar will get behind the reins and motion for everybody to jump on the cart and start heading back to the docks.
Yeah. As you start up, you notice that the young halfling boy is milling about.
Lillian, perhaps you could ask your friend where we can find Mr. D'Aquitaine.
It's true.
He seems to be attached to us. Actually, here's a perception check posed by his sense mode, or his deception DC. Is he in fact following us? Paranoia of all rogue party intensifies.
Following? No. Waiting while playing? Yes.
Okay. Suddenly it's become Icewind Dale. You know.
I mean, we pay, so like.
We paid for our fast travel, child. We should definitely use them. Okay,
Yeah.
Steelamgar will turn the cart in the direction of the little boy.
Hello.
Oh. Yes, ma'am. What can I do for you? Is there anywhere else you want to go? I'm very good. I can find just about anything for you.
And Levi talking again. What is the person's name again?
Tomas D'Aquitaine.
Okay, yeah, I totally say that because it's not sticking in my head how to pronounce it.
That's fair.
Little
one, we are looking for Tomas D'Aquitaine. You perhaps know where we can find him.
Oh, Captain D'Aquitaine? He's almost always at the Stain.
Stain? Is this some kind of watering hole?
Yes.
Sealamgar will roll his eyes at the thought of Western barbarism.
Just, this kid has been helpful to us. I'm gonna flip him another silver.
You see an unreasonably wide smile, and he says, "This way." And while his path is taking you occasionally between buildings, it's clear that he's taking the fastest possible route.
Okay. Is the route big enough for our cart to fit?
He would make sure, though a couple of places it's tight.
Fair.
And
it is okay. Sealamgar has taken the skill feat parallel park the cart with ponies, so it's fine.
Since Sealamgar is a little on the paranoid side, give me a sense motive check.
Oh, good. Here's another perception check. Bam, 22.
You can tell when it's that close, you can tell he's thinking, dear Lord, it looked wide enough. These places are so wide, you'd think cavalry could ride through here. Big people and their big things.
Says the halfling child. Yeah, for sure.
And quickly, he leads you to a place. It's off from the water a little bit. It's on the other side of the piers where you tied up. Where it is, there's a small island out into the bay, and that's connected to the area of the main city with a small wood bridge. This is on the mainland side, and it's not far from where you docked. You can easily see it from where your ship from where you are now.
Okay.
We're talking a fairly accurate archer could easily hit the door from your ship.
Okay, fair enough.
So as you pull up, there's fairly stereotypical building, standard daub and wattle construction, the white squares, everything with the thatched roof. The sign in front looks like at one point it was painted, but now there's just a large black stain, on a bleached white background.
Okay. And I imagine we can hear the sounds of shore leave from outside, huh?
Yes. As y'all walk in, what do you do?
Silumgar is going to stay with the cart because we can't necessarily drive a cart into the dive bar, and somebody's got to stay behind and protect the box. It shouldn't be that big a deal, at least in Silumgar's head, for like Dale say, to run in, deliver the scroll, and then run back out.
Makes sense.
So I will go into the bar and I will go up to the barkeep and say, have you seen DeFontaine?
Aquitaine, you fool. I will say through our message that we don't have, but have for a second.
Okay. GM, are you if the character wants to do the proper name, yes. If the character wants to do just a close name, that's okay too.
Roll with it. I got it wrong. I asked for DeFontaine.
Fair enough.
Can I use perception or society or something to find someone who seems notably like a captain around here?
Well, give me a perception check of the bar.
22.
Generally looking around, well, first off, you are getting a lot of attention because what's your charisma again?
I mean, it's, I believe, only a 12.
Yes, but
Because she's a female, and you've walked into shore leave.
Okay. Allow me to read a little bit of flavor for you. The stain, typically patronized by shiftless bachelors, veteran fishermen, and rough dock workers. The tap house of Captain Yemen Gulston numbers among the, well, you don't need to do that.
See here, Levi? There's lots of eligible
basically.
bachelors in here. For you.
Yeah. So, like I said, shiftless bachelors, dock workers,
A plus suitors is what he's saying. The best.
Basically, I am a alright looking, rich by my gear chick.
You probably also carry yourself much like a little. I don't know exactly how much, because I'm speaking in terms of like a high intelligence character. There's a little more like light behind your eyes, I imagine, than the average shiftless dock worker bachelor.
Uh-huh. And I am Leaf. Like,
Yes. So basically, as you look over the crowd, you see straighter people sitting up straighter, guts being suddenly disappearing as they are sucked into their largest extent. So, yeah. And then you notice that you are armed, and from the way you're moving, look like you know how to take care of yourself. So you see a couple of guts reappear.
Quick, natural armor bonus. Brr.
Well,
Much
if,
more
if
like,
that's the case, then my natural armor bonus is like a +4.
Can't kill Josh.
all I can say for the old fat guy, amateurs.
I'm pretty sure that's where Pathfinder ogres get their nat armors, from their blubbery hides. Or walruses. Also walruses.
Hey, as the person with facial hair, visible facial hair. I know Levi.
I do what I can, thank you.
Hey, Horkers are mean son of a guns, let me tell you.
But you also notice that some of the older clientele, after realizing this, kind of just deflate back to their normal selves, realizing that you are far out of their league.
that's nice.
So, Dale, the barkeep, who's he's a older man, you know, leathery. He's seen a lot of time on the open ocean, you can tell. He has that cracked, leathery skin from exposure to a lot of sunlight. He looks and says, "Defontaine? I'm sorry. Can you tell me what his ship was? I think we had a foray in here a couple months ago, but I haven't seen them since. Would you like anything to drink while you're here?"
I don't know about any ship he's on. I was just told to deliver something to him, and I point to the scroll. I say, as far as drink, yeah, sure. Get me how much to pay for the bar? Like drinks for everybody.
As the
Depends on the quality of the booze.
And the guts go back in, and they all sit up straighter again. Meanwhile, I sit on the cart and don't enjoy any of this fun.
Yep. $8 gold will buy a round of grog for everyone.
I hand him 10.
He takes it, and for you, he says it, starts pulling out tankards and lining the bar with them for those people who are there. And he looks at you and says, "Well, do you want the grog? Do you want beer? Or do you want something better?" And he indicates several bottles behind the bar.
Yeah, just take the grog. Anyway, yeah, he's a captain here. He shows up all the time. We were told by this halfling girl that led us here that he's here all the time. Maybe I got his name wrong. It's a D something.
Could I look at the scroll for a sec? You said you showed it.
GM, is the scroll like wrapped up such that like it's not to be opened by anyone except the person, like that kind of thing?
It is sealed with a wrapper around it, and that wrapper has several wax seals on it. So it's not something that is just going to fall open. You're going to have to remove.
Sure. So I'll hand it to the barkeep and just say, please don't open it. It's for the person's eyes only.
As he looks down at, as he starts looking at the seals, he says, did you mean Daquitaine?
Yeah, that's who I meant. The Aquitaine. Why the hell that? You know what? Aqua, fountain. Yeah, that's why I got it mixed up. I thought fountain, not aquitaine. Water all around. Darn it.
Okay.
I'd try to be funny.
Yeah.
He's trying to be funny, basically, make up for being a goof.
Lillian, give me a perception check.
Cool. 19.
As soon as you hear the word, you hear him say Daquitaine, a person in the back of the room pops their head up.
I will walk over to him and like attempting to be as non-threatening as possible.
Okay. As you walk over, you notice that the person is definitely paying attention to you.
I will smile at him, showing him that I am like that is the goal.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello. What can I do for you?
Okay. So I'm gonna call my compatriot over. We were simply given a delivery for you.
Yeah, Dale's already walking over there.
Yeah. When you said that, the barkeep pointed to the corner table where this gentleman is. So, about that time, he sees both of y'all walking up, and he would say, "Are y'all together?"
As far as being in the same party, yes. In any case, here is the scroll. It comes from Merle. He sends his best regards and says, hold the line, brother. And
okay. Whenever perception checks.
22. Hey, also 22.
Remind me that I need to make some checks higher. You hear a slight sound from under the table as he reaches his hands up. And you realize now that when you kind of think about it, that sound probably was a crossbow prod, the bow part of a crossbow. being slowly lowered back into a fitting on the bottom of the table. And it didn't sound like a little one. So, yes, he had a heavy crossbow underneath the tablecloth pointed at y'all.
Gotcha. That makes sense when we both awkwardly are like, this person.
Ah, yes, him, of course. We're not suspicious or from out of town. No.
Although things like that are why I mentioned trying to be as non-threatening as I could.
Yes. He takes it, looks at his name written in Aclo on the side. Are you going back to Merle? Because if so, tell him to stop writing in this silly whatever.
Sure.
I hope to, but it'll be a little bit.
Yeah, we've got somewhere else to be, but as soon as I see him again, I'll let him know to write in wingdings or something.
Wingdings. The font's more readable than Aclo. Why, yes.
He's looking down, looking at in the script, and he said, okay, it says here y'all should have a small chest for me. And he, is skimming it. Y'all have somewhere else to go on this? Is this just a stop for y'all? He looks up.
Yes.
Yes, it is. We're heading elsewhere, but Merle knew we were going to pass by, and so he said, well, while you're headed there, why don't you stop by here and hand this to this person?
Okay. He looks at y'all intently. Y'all know Merle?
Somewhat.
I've had business dealings with him before.
And what's your bluff DC? Or roll me a bluff.
Oh. Which one of us?
Dale.
You mean deception, don't you? There's no.
Yes. Sorry. I'm getting 1E and 2E mixed up.
My life.
Yes, of course you smuggle unicorns. It's obvious to everyone. You have 3 miniature ones in your pocket right now.
23.
Compared to his is a fail. Not quite a critical fail, but a fail. So, yeah, he accepts that at face value. Well, if you know Merle, if you don't mind me asking where you're going.
North.
North.
Any reason you ask?
Well, I figure y'all would like to know travel conditions. Admittedly, my folks stay more to the rivers and the bay, but if a friend of Merle's a friend of mine.
Huh.
And if y'all were going towards Hyannis, and, well, given that Merle obviously vouches for you by the fact that he had you deliver this cargo, I have something heading that way if you want it. If you would take it there, it'd be worth my while.
Well,
I am personally okay with this barter quest.
However, the main qualm is we are having a cartographer chart our path, and a large part of whether or not it would be viable for us to deliver this in a timely manner would be how our path and the location intersect.
Fillmore, he has his chart shop right up there by the Sleeplands Agency's headquarters.
With the exceptionally currently bright clothing.
Always. Whenever I brought him those things from Casmaran, they glowed white. And he chuckles.
Got a lot of love out of them, I guess.
He looks at you and says, okay. He's had those for about 2 months now. He gets a little enthusiastic on his coloring, but he makes some of the best charts you've ever seen. Wish I'd known I might have been able to get y'all a discount because he does a whole lot of business with me. Or I should say I do a whole lot of business for him. But yeah, if y'all are heading north, if y'all aren't worried about crossing some mountains, he probably is going to send y'all north on the river to around Hyannis and then through the pass in that area. You will be passing, a few miles from the Monastery of the Vale. I've heard some.
So immediately on hearing Monastery of the Vale, Dale's eyes are gonna light up, and he's gonna be like, "Monastery of the Vale, you say? Yes, absolutely. We will take what you need us to take to Hyannis, and we will head to the Monastery of the Vale. Absolutely, we can do that for you."
All right. Figuring you should be able to get there in. Let the DM consult his map.
Classic. This would be around the time in my old home games where we'd get the ruler and go to and Josh will remember this map of the sea region, the big poster, and just hold
that
up
we could never freaking keep up on the wall.
That thing was super heavy. Yeah.
We
I
tried.
get that from my dad's house.
We tried everything.
Oh, we did.
Well, seeing on right now on my worktop, I have y'all to the far side on one side. I have currently a map of Ustalov up beside it out of the Rule of Fear PDF. And then I have Roll20 on a separate monitor. So right now I'm looking and judging that, say, okay, that's about 1 centimeter per 10 miles. So that's, call it 2, we'll call it, we'll call it a day and a half to get from, no, we'll call it 2 days. You should be able to make Rosenport tomorrow and Hyannis the next day if the river is not giving trouble. So he would say, yeah, I have a chest I need delivered in Rosenport. And yeah, are y'all willing to make sure that gets where it needs to go?
So the chest is in Rosenport and we're taking it to Hyannis, or you have the chest here now and it's going to Rosenport, or
Chest is here. It needs to go to Rosenport. And if y'all are looking for what probably is going to be the fastest way, the river goes from Rosenport to Hyannis, or close enough.
Okay, yeah. So I'm looking at the map. So it'd probably be somewhere on the midpoint of the river of the space between Thrushmore and Hyannis, right?
Yes, I have a higher detail map that I'm looking at.
Which makes sense.
Rosenport is it's about where you go from grassland to from the more grassy veldt to the drier veldt.
Okay. Yeah. I see no reason why not.
Let's see. There are two of you.
There are actually 3.
but that third person's not involved, Elf. So we only should have to pay for 2.
Oh. Okay.
Hey, I was planning on you.
The downside of the evil party.
I'm sorry. That is good enough. Good enough for a roll, but not good enough for him to pay for 3 people. But just smile at you and say. But he smiles and says, "Well, call it 5 gold apiece and a ride on one of my riverboats going north."
Deal. And I shake his hand. Say deal.
Excellent. That'll work. How did y'all come to town?
We got off at Fort.
Oh, tell me which ship. So, well, he, where he is, he's fairly, there's a window not all that far away. He whistles, and a large, tall man, obviously of Kelid descent, pokes his head up and is clearly listening. And the captain says, "These 2 are going to take you to ship. You need to unload cargo." Doesn't say a word, just nods and disappears, heading towards where the front door is. Captain turns to you 2 and says, "Excellent. When do y'all... my boat is scheduled to leave. Well, normally we like to leave a little bit after first light, once the sun's fully up. Just safer that way, you know."
All we got to do is grab the map from the cartographer at first light, and then we can be out.
Well, if he says at first light, he means at first light. So I will let y'all go till then.
Sounds good.
Thank you again, sir.
And be here. And my mate, who y'all will be, he will make sure you get what you need. And at that, he goes back to reading the scroll. It's
All right.
it's multiple pages.
And I will add 10 gold back to the coffers. So our drinks just got paid for. Nice.
He didn't pay you yet.
The payment is going to be with the people at the boat. So that way, after we deliver it, or from whoever it is.
Okay, I won't add it yet. Just in case we get screwed over.
Well, to be honest, you were going to get the money when you boarded the ship
Gotcha.
or the boat. Okay, so anything else you're wanting to do here?
Not really. I'm gonna head back out and meet with Selimgar. But as I'm walking out, I'm gonna say, you know what? You're not half bad, Lily. And that's the first time I ever call her by her real name. So like, I just turn
Instead of pointy ears.
Yeah, just say you're not half bad, Lily. Maybe you're not half bad. I just leave it at that and out the door.
Okay. Now, Selimgar, at about the point that these two reach the front door to come out to you, a very large Kellish man walks around the side of the building.
Okay. So
He sees them.
Good.
You've seen a couple people go in and out, mainly looking like dock workers who have finished their shifts. He's a little bit bigger than most of them, and they're not tiny. He sees Dale and Lillian come out and says, "Lead me to the boat."
Okay, so when it's super clear,
Very good.
when it's super clear that the giant Kelid isn't like going to do terrible things to myself or my cargo, I will relax. So, like Selimgar sees this dude, goes to stand up, and then sees everyone else and just kind of relaxes a little bit. Is the little halfling kid still? Is he still in the area? Is he still hanging out?
He's been amusing himself nearby, but
does he look like he has like a family anywhere else to be, or is this just like an impoverished street kid that's following us around?
Okay. Sense motive or society, either would work.
A perception, because perception is how we sense motive, and that's higher for me. So it's an 11. Oh, good. Well, can I try the society?
Yeah, you can
Why
try
not?
society.
It's a little better. $15 better than an 11?
Yeah, 15's better than 11. He is obviously hanging around because y'all are paying very well for him.
Okay. So while
He made 2 silver today.
He did. So while Lily and Dale are in the bar, Selimgar will just, little one, you have a family? Why do you follow us around?
I'm part of the way I help my family is they're new travelers in town and they always need help going somewhere, and I'm very good at it. Though I am sorry I nearly got your cart stuck a couple times.
Of course, it is not your fault, little one. Does he look? He looks pretty agile, yeah.
Yes.
Is he carrying any weapons or anything like that?
No, he's not even carrying a knife like you would expect.
Okay, so
you've seen most of the people around walking around have knives, but they're more utilitarian. They're not daggers.
Like pocket knives.
They're work knives.
Okay, sure. Okay. Mitsuruan, tell me about your family. Is it a particularly large family? Are you most of the income?
When you say large family, you get a smile that extends past the points of his ears. You mean other than my 12 brothers and sisters? No, not large at all.
Oh, of course. That is much like my family back home in Vudra. I have a very large family as well. And you see, the thing about my family is sometimes we add people to our families, and you look like the type to, in a few years, possibly have what it takes. I'll cut right to it. You seem to be a little more capable of taking care of yourself, and extra pair of eyes, both in Thrushmore and as we cross Ustalav, would mean life or death for us. How would you like to join my family?
Give me a diplomacy.
All right, I'm good at that. I think, aren't I? Yeah, I am.
We'll see how good you are.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, we will.
Famous last words, Tommy. One of your phrases.
Famous last words indeed. Diplomancy. The higher the better. Oh, never mind. That wouldn't.
Here's
21. Blackjack.
That is good. Because please realize, you are new in town. You are Vudrani. He's known you for all of a couple hours, and now you're asking him if he wants to come with you and join your family.
Yes, I'm trying to get an apprentice. I'd rather he get shot than me, and if he can make it back to Verdra, well, the House of the Second Breath has gained a new member. The rough and tumble street child seems like a pretty appropriate starting point for, evil assassins. And I think everybody in the party has the criminal or street urchin background. So
Street urchin.
Can relate.
Yes.
Yay, us beans of the world.
But he does have a family. And you are a stranger. And this is a port city.
That's fair.
So
we're gonna be in jail for kidnapping.
That's fair. I was hoping he had a little less of people that care about him and more that it was just like a big family and dad's not in the picture and mom's doing the best she can and this poor little guy has to run around and like shill money to feed everybody.
Well, to be honest, his situation is
probably better than ours, given the fact that we're gonna die and he's making lots of money off us.
In less developed societies, it was not uncommon for younger children who were not receiving education or working at a specific trade to act as runners, couriers, guides in cities. And, it's kind of like you ask the local beggar. It's like homeless people today. They know what's happening around them, but no one notices them.
Yeah, see, I remember that from a story called Bartleby the Scrivener by the same guy who wrote Moby Dick, Herman Melville, and like there was a scene in the book where like the people working would want like pastry snacks, and so they get the little urchin kid like, "Hey, go get us a pastry snack," and hand him some money to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
So
the 21 does not convince the child to leave his family behind and eventually become a Rixasha worshipping assassin, is what I'm taking away from this.
No, but
it also doesn't get me in trouble.
It's high enough that basically he understands that you're not looking to kidnap and or abuse him. it's just kind of weird, and he'll say, "No, I can't leave home.
Okay, I understand. Please.
Not until I'm at least 10. I'll be grown up then."
Things grow up very
But
fast. How old are you now?
7.
Oh my, I was definitely stealing a very small child. Oh, I am an evil character. Oh, of course. I'm
Why,
sorry. I
yes,
mean no
you
offense.
are an evil character.
You see, my family, they recruit from people. But to be honest, my story is not unlike yours, running around the town doing what I could for money. But I understand. I would not want to take you from somewhere that you belong. And since I won't get an apprentice this episode, we can flash forward to when the party comes back. I tried my best.
Which was good.
Yeah, I tried my
Don't
best and
keep
didn't botch
throwing
it, which
me
was good.
To tell you the truth, I had mentally set the DC for, okay, you've convinced him to join you, run away from home, and just join this strange person sitting there at 25. So you could have done it.
I could have crit. As always.
You really could have done it.
Fair enough. Okay, that's enough hold up on my part. I guess as Lily and Dale are coming back as well.
Yeah.
Did we find our man?
Yeah.
Indeed, we did.
Yeah. And the Kelid starts walking towards the port.
We will be taking the boat after first light up the river.
Oh, I see. Where are we bound?
Oh, we're going towards Hyannis, but there is. As a person, I am real bad with names. What is the city in the middle named again? Roseport?
Rosenport?
Close. Rosenport.
Rosen. But there is a city, Rosenport, we will be stopping at.
Well, you know, guys, if we want to take a quick left turn and do part 3 of the Pathfinder playtest, it does take place outside Rosenport. Just saying. Ah, yes, Rosenport. Good. Fair enough. And we leave in the morning? Works for me. And I'll turn the cart in the direction of a giant and follow him.
So y'all take Merle's cargo off. He's checking it off of a list. Whenever he gets to the dock, he waves some people over to help unload the rest of it. They start loading it onto a cart. He's using a pencil to mark off things off of what's obviously a manifest he's looking at. And he looks down and says, "All right, that's all of it. I need your mark. One of you."
If knife,
Yep.
I will make a very fancy equivalent of an L in Elvish.
Okay.
Selimgar will write his name in Vudrani.
Dale will write a really fancy question mark. And
Mark? What is Mark? Question mark. Oh, I get it. Ha. So many puns going over my head tonight.
Yeah.
As usual.
The Kelid looks at it, says, "All right, I only needed one, but
well, now we're all
this
on
goes
the
back
hook
to the
goes
captain,
south.
and the captain should send it back to Merle. So, y'all are good. Did I hear the boss say y'all were taking a load up north for us?"
Indeed.
That is correct.
Where are y'all Y'all are going north. Are y'all heading out with the boat to Rosenport?
Yes,
yes.
we're heading out in the morning after we go get our map from the halfling.
I believe it was
Or no, the
gnome.
gnome. I always get the smaller people confused.
Hi, you are the most racist person I've ever met in all of my life.
Okay. How tall is Dale? Describe Dale.
Dale's like 5'4".
5'4". Okay.
I mean, I can't make that call sound my character. I just think it'd be hilarious if he was like a real short dude.
You were close, Tommy. I have it written as 5'6".
Okay, that's a below average for a man.
Okay. The Kelid is about 6'8".
He's much above average for a man.
And when you say smaller people, he just
That's
there
on
is
the
this
head.
rumbling chuckle that emanates from him, and he says, "You and me both. You and me."
I respond to. Do I know he's Kellish?
He is stereotypically Kellish.
Okay,
Kellish is he's from the Ottoman Empire. If he's Kellish, he's Kelid. He's a caveman. He's a mirror.
Kelid. Yeah.
So I tell him a joke in Kellish related to this.
Okay, he tells him a joke in Middle Eastern because it's Kelid.
Yeah.
I've had players confuse Kellish and Chelish, and frankly, as far as Pathfinder goes, it's real easy to screw that up. But Kelid.
Yeah. He looks at you and he just laughs out loud. He is laughing loud enough that people are stopping on the docks.
Oh no.
It's to the point that the guys who are helping unload the cargo are looking over at you and him, looking at you like, "Oh dear Lord, what have you done?" And looking at him like, "Oh dear Lord, why are you laughing? How many people are going to die?"
It's a good thing we've pleased Drax the Destroyer.
Yeah, and as it turns out, Drax tends to just say what he wants to say, and it's offensive, so it fits.
Classic.
So at that, he says, he asks you, where are you staying tonight? He's speaking in Kelid to you, Dale.
Anyone speak Kelid?
I thought.
Yeah, I do. That's the whole point.
Well, you were saying Kel-ish, which again is not the same language.
I knew.
Good. I'm glad the GM's got it.
So in Kellish, I ask him
again.
Kelid.
In Kel. So let me write it on my sheet as Kelid then.
Yeah. I guess some Kelid could speak Kellish, but we don't assume every Kelid speaks Kellish. It's certainly not Chelish, because that's on the other side of the world. Van used to get so mad about that with the caliper. It is confusing.
Okay, so in Kelid, I ask him, where would you stay if you were me?
I'd stay at the Stain. It tends to peter out a couple hours after the sun goes down. So, yeah, in a few hours. And, well, all I can tell you is it's one of the best places around here. He doesn't put anything in his booze. What you order is what you get. And the rooms he has are simple, but they're clean.
Sold.
Perhaps I have greatly misjudged a place called the Stain.
So
that's fine with me. Was there like a stable or something out back of the stand, somewhere we can park and not be parked illegally. Also, we have a very, very high value package that we're carrying in our car, so we shouldn't park it illegally. We don't want to get towed.
Yes, there is a small. There are stabling facilities nearby.
Okay, cool.
So, I assume from that y'all are going to the very large man claps you on the shoulder and says, "See you in the morning." And he's walking off, and he's just occasionally breaking into rumbling chuckles.
And Dale drops about 6 inches as a man who's over a foot taller than him. Just see you in the morning. Walks off. Not unlike when Josh will give you a hug or do anything like that, because Josh too has a very strong eye, I can attest. You're being squished. So Josh isn't, 16 inches taller than I am?
So
Big man.
No, and I'm only like just under 6 foot.
Yeah, we're about the same height. Anywho.
So, okay. So I assume y'all are going back to the Stain to stay the night.
Yeah.
Dale is.
Yeah, Sealamgar, when we get back, Sealamgar will pay for a room, but then after everything gets a little quieter, Sealamgar is going to, and we can make the checks later, but I want to sneak out of the inn, sneak to the stables, and sleep where I have line of sight to the thing that kills us if it gets too far away from us. Because God forbid some, thugs or something have eyes on a shiny package and want to take it, and then we're all dead.
Okay. Roll me. Okay. For the party, it's considered. So 2 gold for all the party. It's simple, but it's a good place. Very good place. You'll get breakfast in the morning. And since you know the captain and y'all are obviously doing some business with him, stabling thrown in.
Nice.
So, like lots of places, lots of what you get is based off of who you know.
Sure.
So, and you probably would not be the first people who have stayed there because they're coming to do quick business trips to see Mr. Daquitaine. So, yeah, Selimgar, if you can roll me a stealth check.
So before I leave, I'll be sure that both Lillian and Dale know that is my intent. So if I too am missing in the morning, that's they'll know. So maybe someone can come and find me because I don't want to die, but I don't want to. I have to make sure I watch my head, that kind of thing. Stealth check, 16. It could be worse. Natural 6.
Okay. Okay. About the way you would have to get out would be to either go through the main door, which is barred.
Okay.
Your room is barred on the inside.
Okay.
So you'd have to go through there and either go out a shuttered window or through the front door. Unless you're going to try to get up and crawl through the thatch.
That would probably not be the best. Is there a window in my room that I could get out and then climb down?
No, all the guest accommodations, they're only it says 2 rooms, but I'm going to say there are 3.
Okay.
Are stone walls, a bed, a candle. It's very plain, very Spartan, but clean.
Okay, fair. So is there a window like in the hall?
No, this is on the back side, and just you could go out through with a little bit of work through the kitchen area,
Okay.
kind of where the deliveries would be done.
Through like the service entrance.
Yeah.
Okay. And the door to the front is barred on like the inside,
Yes.
so I can't relock it once I leave. Because that was the first idea. Oh. Well, I might actually. Is there anybody like awake downstairs right now?
As a matter of fact, yes.
Okay, so instead of like trying to like sneak past and like Batman my way out, I'll make my way down to the first floor and just. Excuse me, It is hard to say, but we are carrying very valuable item in our carts, and I worry that the ne'er-do-wells in the night may, break into the stable and steal it from us. I pay for the room, so these individuals, if they may exist, assume I am there, but... And then I'll make my way towards the door. I'm sorry, I need to go to the...
The person who's up and about now, it's, I would say, probably about 3 in the morning.
Okay.
No, probably closer to 1 or 2. Everything's been down and quiet for about an hour or so now. Is a dwarf, kind of old and grizzled. He's what you would call a saltbeard. He's obviously done more than his share of sailing as well. And he just looks at you and says, okay, that's fine, but why would you leave something important out there? Why not just bring it into your room?
We could have done that, guys. Well, now we're busted. We didn't bring it inside, and we should have brought that inside. Busted. Now I realize that. Very much so.
Uh-huh.
I'm used to thinking, last time I played a game where we were guarding things, I played a hunter who slept in the stables anyway. So, I'm sorry. And I'll just, continue moving towards the door, now awkwarded out, because another dwarf has definitely put another, hey, wait a minute, in front of me.
Remember, dwarves are a very practical people.
Very fair. That's very true.
He just shakes his head, says, all right, just leave Philip to do what he's doing. He's not going to be quiet for you.
I'm sure I will manage and slip out.
Fair enough.
And now, once I get outside is when I want to start sneaking.
Okay. You get out there and roll me a stealth check.
Yes.
Since you are sneaking.
27.
You move like a breeze of wind through a stormy night. Just completely. So what do you want to do? There is a candle lit in there. You hear sounds of movement.
Okay.
Not much.
Is there like easy access into the stable?
Yes, there are some windows up 5 foot off the ground.
Okay.
The large barn doors are closed, and the door on the front is also closed.
Okay.
So the animal wagon door and the
people door.
person door.
And all the windows are closed too.
No, I'm going to call this late spring, early summer.
Fair.
So
it's warm enough out at night that we'd want to leave the windows open.
That it wouldn't hurt anything.
Okay, fair. In that case, Steelingor is just gonna like slip up to one of the windows and try to like slip through it if he can, if it's open big enough for a. How much did I don't think I weighed a heck of a lot of much. Oh, did I not write it down on my sheet? Oh no, I've betrayed myself. Because I didn't write it down on my sheet because there's no longer a clear entry in the playtest character sheet for height and weight. But I definitely imagined him as a very, like, all I eat is bread and water. A real scrawny dude. Just try to, like, slip under.
Yeah, you should be able to get up to a window and slip in. Okay. No major trouble. The hardest part... roll me a... What is it? Athletics.
Can I use acrobatics?
Acrobatics works just as well.
Asks every Dex character that I ever. Boom! 26.
Again, you move like a piece of oiled midnight up the side of the building and into the barn. You see a young halfling getting things ready, oiling tack, just basically doing those things that need to be done for the animals and the 4 or 5 wagons that are in the in the stable.
Fair enough. So here's a perception check. I'm really just tempting RNG fate here. 24 versus his deception DC to make sure he's not to make sure he's actually supposed to be there and not gonna steal our stuff.
Okay. With that, yes, he seems very much at home doing what he's doing. It's clear he does this all the time.
Okay, fair enough.
The one thing that you do notice is that, okay, Silumgar is straight human, no
he's just a Vudrani
dark
human.
vision, no low light vision.
Nope. Actually, if it is relevant, I did at character creation hearing this moment and not knowing we'd have a lot of shopping sessions to buy ever-burning torches. I am carrying a single dark vision elixir, if it's hard to see in here.
Well, it's going to be dim light or shadow throughout the building. The moon's fairly bright.
Okay, so dim light probably illuminates most of the stable. Yes. Then. Okay, that's fine.
The young halfling looks similar to the kid who's been helping y'all get around town.
Okay. Could be related, similar?
Yeah.
Okay.
But to this point, he has not noticed you. Right now, I'm going to say you are up against the wall, kind of low between 2 of the windows.
Okay, so here's a quick society check. I want to know if Rushmore, like what the crime rate is out here. Total of 12.
It it doesn't look very. It's not a criminal hotbed.
Okay.
It yes, while there, it looks like there is some crime. Uh, Basically, it's about 3,500, 4,000 people. Uh, it's not necessarily lawful, but it's pretty safe. There's
Okay. Actually, here's another one. Here's a religion check. Because I remember we bought, because of Lillian, a lot of silver things to protect ourselves. Is there possibly, with a religion check, is Thrushmore often visited by things that go bump in the night, / do people often go missing? Also a 12. Blah.
uh, if it helps, the you've heard lots of people sharing lots of rumors, whereas in Caliphus they, were very much those provincials, terrible superstitious people. Yes, I'll take 3 more silver amulets. Here there's, people are superstitious.
Okay.
There you see lots of kind of folk magic-y looking stuff around. There are a couple pieces of garlic over the door, on the lintel of the door. There, just little things here or there. So it's it's not a huge place. It's a large town, but it's by no means a city.
Sure.
So,
Okay.
while
Sealimgar is going to, if there's no, like, if we aren't necessarily hearing lots of rumors about how, like, vampires will abduct people, and I don't know anything about, like, the crime rate in Thrushmore, Sealimgar is going to, I want to sneak up to the child and put one hand so he doesn't scream and, like, screw this up for him. Where Sealimgar is the man who has been raised most of his entire life in a monastery, trained to serve evil native outsiders. This kid is screwing up because this place is not well enough defended and he's by himself, and all it takes is one mistake, such as the mistake he's making, for him to have something bad happen to him. So I'm not going to try to harm him, but also he needs to A, be taught a lesson, and B, in the process of doing so, I don't necessarily want him to alert the guards. So I'd like to sneak up behind him and then hand over his mouth, other hand to, as if to stab him in the kidney, but not again, not to cause harm.
No.
Just first, I guess first question is, am I able to do so without him seeing me? Stealth check.
Stealth check.
24. That's,
Mm,
I forget what the DC is on the tables in the rulebook, but I feel like a 24 is a medium task for level 5. I forget.
Yes, but I'm also calling it opposed by his perception. So
Okay.
yeah. So you can get to him
Okay. So
quietly.
just move up to him, and then, like I said, I'm going to grab him one hand by around his mouth, the other hand, as if to have like delivered the fatal blow. And as I do so, just don't scream. One move, and you could die. I am not here to harm you. You are not on the list tonight, but you could be on someone else's. And then after I've said that, I'm going to let go of him.
He stays still for just a moment. Do you stay where you are? Do you step back?
And once he stays still, I'm going to, again, I am not here to harm you. I'm here to check on something that is in my cart. As a member of the order that I am, I see wrongness. You understand? I'm trying to protect you.
About midway through that, he breaks away and run. You said you've taken your hands off of him.
I don't want to like back way far off him, but after I've said several times, like, I'm not here to harm you, back off.
Yeah. When you move back, he is off like a shot to the edge of one of the stalls. He reaches in and has a cudgel with him, a studded cudgel. So,
okay. Does he look like he knows how to use it?
Yes, I would say he's the equivalent of a late teenager, almost full-grown halfling.
Okay. Silumgar is going to, I'm going to have I want to be, at this point, he's drawing. I'm not going to draw either. I won't go into wolf style, but just good. I like what I see. Why do you not carry that on you? And I think at this point, I want to try a diplomacy check. I want him to be very clear that I'm not here to harm him at this. Now that the initial shock has gone, I want to make sure he's not going to like call the guards / make anything go super bad here. D20 plus 6, we're about to rest, and I haven't used Lucky Halfling yet, but I will keep the 19.
Okay. That's a success. Okay. In the typical teenager who's just been scared senseless way, he will say, in a voice that breaks high for a moment, What on earth did you do that for?
Because you need to learn, child. What if I was a vampire? What if I was even just someone off the docks who's had too much to drink and wanted to try his luck? You could be dead.
First off, vampires don't like nights with almost full moon. And second, he quickly goes through a quick series of motions with the club. If you were drunk, you wouldn't be a problem.
Okay. Does it look like he actually, again, knows what he's doing?
Yes, it looks like he's going through a trained series of blows. You being Vudrani would think of it more in lines of a kata but it's clearly a practice series of strikes.
Silumgar will, in kind, he'll repeat. I'll go into wolf style at this point and do my own. Just good. It is good that you know how to use it. However, if I wanted to do you harm, you would not have had the time to get to your weapon. I do think you should carry it on you. And with that, I'm gonna I'll stay. Well, no, I'll get out of stance, and I'm gonna walk towards our cart and just make sure the chest is still in it.
Hey, that belongs to people.
Belongs to me. I parked it in here myself.
I'm
gonna get beat up by a teenager. Kids these days.
Okay. He's supposed to be watching things in there, and you just snuck up and scared the living daylights out of him. Of course, he's going to be, but then he says, "Oh, I remember you now. But why on earth are you out here?"
It's a long story. There's something. What is your name? You look like someone we paid for directions.
You mean my little brother?
I'll nod.
Yeah. You know, you're fine. Whatever. What are you going to do? Because I don't have all night to stay watching for you to come jumping out of the shadows at me.
I assure you I will not do that again. No reason to.
And you had what reason to do it in the first place?
Well, child, again. I
You
appreciate.
call me child one more time, we're going to have trouble. Puffing up to his full 4'2".
Okay. Well, young one, it is important, at least where I come from, in the manner in which I was raised, that everyone is able to defend themselves. You left yourself open. Again, if I wanted to do you harm, it would not have been hard. Look, I also come from a big family, much like you do, as your brother told me, and though, again, I mean you no harm, I have no reason to harm you. I imagine, as they rely on your little brother, they also rely on you, yes? You help pay for the food, the lodgings.
Yes.
And what would happen if someone came and harmed you? How would your family suffer if you were gone? I'm just waiting for the teenager to get too angry and start swinging on me.
Perception check.
Deal. I'm in danger. 23.
Okay, very meta. You see a large red flashing sign above his head marking tilt. Because you
I've pushed him
just
too far.
pushed his mental button as far as he's gonna go.
All right, I forget what teenagers like. God, I haven't been a teenager in so long. How do I get this teenager to not be angry? I need a new band CD or a shirt or something. I don't know. I feel old.
Or Tide Pods.
Yes, Tide Pods. That was centipede venom. Tide Pods. It's close enough. Okay, so this guy, he looks like he's going to challenge me, not like go run for help. Yeah.
With that score, he looks like he is being pushed into a mental corner.
Why does this upset you so? And I will, as I see him get angry, I will turn to face him. I'm not going to drop into the stance just yet, but like I'm not going to turn my back on him. And if he wants to challenge me, though, I'm not going to kill the poor kid. I'm not going to like not accept. Session 3, Tommy killed.
He's just shaking his head, starting to speak, and stumbling before a word gets out. I don't know where you're from. I don't care. You're a freak.
Okay.
Stay away from me.
Is the package, is the chest still intact? Is it in the cart where it
Yes.
should be? Okay.
It- n- let me rephrase that. No, it is not in the cart.
Okay.
It is because the way the cart is, it's a two-wheeled cart.
Mm-hmm.
If it had been left in the cart would have tipped.
Okay.
The cart
Yeah,
is
that makes
currently tipped up, and it is set over to the side, recovered with the oilcloth.
Okay. Makes sense. I forgot we bought a two-wheeled cart and there were horses.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
And it's are you checking on the box itself?
Yeah, yeah.
It shows no signs of tampering. It looks like it was literally you can see slight marks on the where the dust has been rubbed, because if you look overhead, you will see a small crane apparatus that was used to pull it off the cart because they're halflings. Most of them are not super strong and they're not dock workers.
Fair.
They use block and tackle to get it out, set it to the side, put the oilcloth over it, and haven't touched it again.
Okay. Okay. So that's good. That's a thing that's happened. I'm happy about that. But this mouthy little teenager. God, who have I become? Okay, so he calls me a freak. I'll go check on the package and then I'll turn back to him and just, I am not a freak. I am someone who has lived much longer than you, been through much worse than you, and come out to tell a tale. I'm trying to help you. You are too fortunate to learn the lesson. And at this point, is he still drawn down on me?
He has backed up, and he's moved away from you into a more defensible position. And where he is, he has light behind him. The candle is behind him.
So I couldn't sneak behind him.
Yeah. So anywhere you go towards him, you're going to be going into the light of the candle instead of having it behind you. It's not sunlight, but it's better than nothing.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Well, one fight trial. I kind of I will. As if he's still he's trying to defend himself from me. I will drop into wolf stance and I will not harm you, child. Not more than I think you can manage, and I certainly will not kill you. You continue to threaten me. I hesitate to defend myself. You think you can use
You just
your
called
club?
him a child again.
I know. I did that on purpose.
Yeah.
God, I feel my age for the first time in my entire history of role-playing. God, I'm teaching it to
Okay.
stuff. Oh, no.
Okay. The first thing I'm thinking is, I've taught you well, Tommy.
Yeah, maybe.
The old folk has rubbed off on you.
Oh, yes.
Okay. As you say that, you drop into the stance, you notice he's continuing back.
Okay.
Give me a perception check.
All right, D20 plus 8. I will use. Yeah, I'm gonna rest pretty soon. I'm gonna lucky halfling that one and re-roll. It comes out to a 23. Here's hoping I don't need that when the fight. Well, I can't lucky halfling attack rolls for a while, so that was good.
Right now, he's about 5 foot from a large brass bell.
Okay.
And he's backing up towards the bell.
Okay. So it seems like he's learned his lesson. I'm glad I rerolled that. Okay. I don't necessarily want to run away from a teenager because I'm just going to ring the bell. How far away is the bell from me?
At this point, I would say you're about 30 feet away.
I have been a bad player character. I have not written down the range increment of a dart. I'm tempted to just cut the bell. I forget what the range increment of a dart is. Stand by, 20. It's in my second range increment.
Okay, with a 23, you're thinking about cutting it with a dart. It's held by a chain.
Okay, fair enough. Can't do that. Okay.
It looks to be a ship's bell.
Makes sense.
Brass bell, brass chain.
Okay. Well, I don't want to just run away from the kid. Maybe I can recruit this one to join the Empire. No, that would be bad. Though he's certainly much more capable. All right, so I'll drop out of stance. Because it's obvious that this is going to go past a lot of anywhere that I've gone, and it's going to involve a lot worse situation, and there's a time crunch, and if we're in jail for a month, we die. So Silumgar will drop out of stance. All right. You win. I've checked on what I need to check on, and if this table is guarded, so be it. I will leave the way I came. Leave you in peace.
Please give me a acrobatics check. I assume you're going back out the window and not.
Yeah, but not until he looks like he's not going to call the guards.
He is by this point. He is where he is within arm's reach of the bell.
Okay.
He is very clearly watching you like a hawk, and if you do anything
bad, he'll.
It's.
Alrighty, here's that acrobatics check. I want to do it a little slower. I'm not gonna. Well. Yeah, no. This kid might get real crazy if I take my eyes off. Kids these days! I'll back off, and when I get to the window, just kind of like backflip in place. I imagine expert acrobatics can pull that off. God, don't fumble! Oh, don't fumble! It's taking a long time to go. Oh, I'm scared. I'm scared for my internet connection too. Okay, 21. Okay, that should beat it.
Yes.
Fumbles and says "child" one too many times.
So, do you want to flavor your leaving, or do you want me to?
That's terrifying, but I'll do it. I'll bite the bullet that I've walked myself into. Silumgar again. Well, I'm not in wolf stance. I'm not combative. Hands at my sides, backing up, and just you win. I will leave you in peace. Move in the direction of the window, and then when I get to the window, I'll I want to kind of just whoop over the back of it. I don't know if. Well, I imagine. Yeah, rogue monk, good at acrobatics, probably can just kind of backflip out. If there's not enough room, or that would shatter a window, I won't. But I just want to keep eyes on this kid for as long as I can to make sure he's not gonna draw down on me and have a crossbow out of nowhere and fire.
I really should have thought of that.
Yeah, you should have.
But
gets killed by teenage halfling. Rogue monks are so good, guys. You should all play them. They're so great. #min-maxing for fun and profit. Killed by teenager.
So So as you get up, you do your backflip. You pause for a moment with your hand on the bottom of the window, look at him, and then rotate along your arm and drop facing outward
And that's when he rings
into the
bell.
darkness. Give me another perception check.
Ah, no, this is bad. This is not what I intended to do. I'm in trouble. So, is this a Twilight Zone? This is a Twilight Zone. Ah, it's a 10. I've used my lucky halfling. I'm in trouble. I'm in danger.
Danger, Will Robinson.
Danger! Danger, Sealing God of Drifting Death. I will prepare a rogue sorcerer for my immediate incarceration or death.
Oh yeah, because
Oh,
when
it's
you were
you,
talking about being in jail
Yeah.
for a month and you said we, I was really confused.
Yeah, 2 is infinitely better than a 1, but yeah.
You never know. Everybody diplomacy's out. What if you all fumble your diplomacy checks and we all go down with the cart?
Okay. Well,
This would be the very last roll is where my luck would fail.
okay. Well, you hear something mumbled inside, followed by a much louder word, freak!
I remember being 16.
And some, and you hear sounds of moving around, and the shutters for the windows start to close and be latched from the inside.
But no bell. Okay, sweet. Good enough for me. I will go back to my room, please. And I will not try to kill teenagers anymore. That was terrifying, but we did it. Made it out.
So what do you do at this point?
I'm going to... I won't necessarily... At this point, I won't be stealthy. Because A, the place is guarded. B, I can take care of myself. C, if that stupid brat gets knifed in his sleep, it's by someone who actually wants to rob the stable. Then so much the better. And I'm going to... I guess I'll just go back and knock on the front door of the stain.
Knock. Okay, which did you say? The stable or
The stain.
the stain?
I guess I'll just knock on the front door of the stable and further harass this child.
Just double checking.
Lawful evil is not lawful stupid.
Yes. Okay. As you do this, good old speakeasy style peephole, and it's not the. There are 3 of them. It's the middle one that opens.
Yeah.
You see, closes, door opens. So did Benjamin give you any trouble?
You have no idea. It's good to know the stable is guarded. That's good enough for me to rest easily.
Yeah, he's. There's a chance he's going to go to Last Wall to vigil. His family is has been involved in the Crusades in the past, and he's a good kid. He's learned a lot.
I agree. He seems to be able to defend himself. Unfortunately, I feel perhaps he leaves his guard down. Are you responsible for him?
Dwarf looks at you like.
Role playing with any of Jason NPCs, my fingers are always crossed under the table. I do not mean it in a bad way.
I'm a friend of his family.
Does he work for you?
He works for the captain. He's We both work for da, 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 Captain Gulston,
Else, nice. Okay,
the owner.
gotcha. Running to rulebook. Let's see here. What would I? You would have to take a feat to be efficient with that. The only halfling weapon that exists. How much? What's a short sword set you back? 9 silver. So I'll put a gold piece on the bar betwixt the dwarf and I, or wherever the dwarf is standing, like in front of him, and just. Benjamin, he leaves his guard down. I worry for both his safety and the safety of the stables. This should purchase him a proper sword. I believe this is what covers it in your lands. Just. If he listens to you, please, just teach him to watch his back. I worry. It was very easy for me to get into the stables. Not watch. One day, someone who means him ill or means to steal property may get in there.
Okay. He would roll a sense motive.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, that's
this is
Can I make a deception check then? If since I'm like the one who's actively doing the stuff, is that okay? Can I roll a deception check?
yes.
All right. Deception. No, I think I can beat that.
Wouldn't this be like?
Ha! Ha ha! Success! We're both just real awkward at the same time, and it's better we just go to bed.
Yes, it's harder to figure out what a family friend is thinking about this weird Vudrani guy.
That's fair.
Who's saying that this child he's seen grow up, and whose family he has known for a couple of generations, just leaves his guard down.
Okay.
He'll put his hand on top of the coin, slide it over to him, and say, "Yes, I will see that Benjamin gets this."
Okay. Thank you. I will bow and I will go to bed as fast as I can. RNG is giving me a lot of 2s, and I'm a little worried.
Perception check.
Oh god, I'm in trouble again. Evil campaigns are hard. 17. Good. Slightly below my middle of the road.
As you
He mumbles under
leave,
his breath. Freak.
No, he wouldn't mumble.
No good.
But you hear the sound of some of the, like most dwarves, he has a large beard full of braids, and dwarves will tend to put rings which have different symbols on them that stand for different major life accomplishments. And you can just hear some of those rings knocking together. And you can just picture in your mind this dwarf going, "I have no idea what this, pardon me, freak has been doing."
So no idea is strictly better than an accurate idea. And I will go to sleep and get my lucky halfling back.
Yeah. That would be a good thing. Okay. Anyone else have late night errands to run?
Would anyone else like to harass children this evening?
I think I'm okay without that.
Okay.
Dale will get up.
Yes!
Dale will get up and go downstairs and see if anyone's available that can. It's like that he just wants. Basically, he's thirsty.
Late night, Dale's thirsty. Time to head downstairs.
Yep.
Fall
Nod.
to the sun. Something like a good
Okay.
song.
Thank you, Mr. Deadmouth.
Let's. Okay, an hour has passed since the strange Vudrani man has been doing strange things. This is the reason why, people from Thrace and ancient Rome were thought to be enamored of small animals for companionship. Strange people doing strange things in a strange land. So it's about 2 a.m. as you sneak towards the main room of the inn. At this point, you're starting to smell some smells of cooking. So is this a sneak or just a
No,
walk?
this is just a walk downstairs. If anything, probably
Just
the
raiding the
smell.
fridge at 3 a.m.
If anything, probably the smell of the cooking's what woke me up.
When you get downstairs, you see a dwarf he's built up the fire in the main fireplace, and he's moved a cauldron on top of it, and it's, you're starting to get some smells of cooking. He looks up as you come down and says, "Yes, what can I do for you?"
Well, I smell you guys are cooking some good things. Woke me up. And realized when I woke up that I was a little bit parched, so I was gonna see if you have some water available. Or maybe something a little stronger.
He'll grin at the something a little bit stronger. We have all sorts of things. But you don't sound like a seafaring man. So what's your preference? Oh, and by the way, before you say grog, let me explain what grog truly is. It's shipboard water, which often had algae growing in it. They threw enough alcohol in it to basically make it safer to drink. It's not something most people on land go for.
I learned something today.
So, well, I'd say the grog, but not sure I want to try that again. I'm not used to something like that.
He smiles in a friendly manner and says, "It's an acquired taste. We do have a good beer back here."
I'll take one of those.
He gives a good stir to the pot and says, I might just join you. And he goes over to a keg, pours you a flagon, and, sits down with his own. Are you looking to engage him in conversation? Are you just kind of
Actually,
drink?
Is there anybody else around that's up?
The baker might be down in the middle of town, or you're let me just say this. Your friend, I guess he's Vudrani.
Yeah, that's right.
He
He's a freak, isn't he?
Okay, I see where this is going. Betrayal.
Yep.
I don't literally say freak, but I say he's a little strange, isn't he?
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, you should have seen her. You should have seen yesterday when we got into town. Let me tell you that I ain't never seen somebody piss off so many people so quickly at one time. I barely talked him down. Mm.
Mate, I'm not one to tell people what to do, but I wouldn't choose him as a shipmate. I'll just say that.
Well, I ain't got no choice. See, that's the thing. And I'll tuck my collar down so you can see what's around my neck. We're kind of in this together, not by choice. Mm.
What's that?
Let's just say that package we're carrying, if we get too far away from it, or we tamper with what's around our neck, or any of the sort, well, you're going to be picking up our heads off the floor.
Now, that sounds like a tale. Do tell.
So I will describe in very generalities what happened.
Well, mate, that's one I have never heard before. You know what? This one's on me. He pours you another beer.
Earned it.
Oh, yes.
Seems fair.
Yeah, then. Anyway, stranger, thank you for the drink. And I guess I'll see you in the morning.
And so I get up and I'll go back to bed.
As you get up, he kind of thumps you on the shoulder. You know, for a landsman, you're all right. See you in the morning. And he goes back to his cooking. Okay.
I almost want to get up in the night just to do it, but
You
I
got to, man.
can't
Everybody else has done stuff. Make some
I'm trying to
alchemy,
imagine
make
what
a new potion.
see. But the thing, right, is I want Lillian to, like, over the course of the trip tomorrow, try to improve their grog recipe.
Okay.
But I don't. But that's not a middle of the night thing.
The middle of the night inspiration. I can make this grog so much better. Wakes up, gets it. Fair.
Martha Stewart the elf.
Oh yeah.
Well, because
Insider trading
craft
is much easier
alchemy.
when you'll live for thousands of years.
Or no, not Martha Stewart, Rachel Ray.
That's worse. I think you might be the Rachel Ray in this situation, given the fact that you've been very racist to everyone we've met.
No, that's not Rachel Ray. That's the
That was Rachel Ray. There's
oh,
another Rachel Ray.
the other
No.
lady.
I mean, yeah. It's a different Paula Dean.
Paula
Yeah,
Dean.
Paula Dean, that's the one.
Oh, so who's
Rachel Ray loves
But okay.
pets and people, and she's nice to people.
But
Not
like,
to mention, she cooks very quickly.
Yeah.
You guys
the
can obviously
alchem- like-
tell, though I am well versed in the art of Pathfinder, cooking personalities on the TV. A little less.
Okay. So, Lillian, are you doing anything other than dreaming of how you can make something that is a monstrosity by tradition better?
Well, because like I'm not thinking that like by the end of it it'll be good, right? But instead of like maybe we'll go from like I don't know, just like less likely to accidentally kill or debilitate a landlubber.
Seems fair.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. Grog itself is not. It's basically any water on hand cut with enough alcohol to render it safe. It's just it's intended more than anything to make water held in wooden barrels on ships safer to drink.
As you do.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
that's true. Maybe I'll just try and brew some nice beer on, like, set up the brewing for nice beer on the way.
Okay.
But no, I can't think of anything like I guess maybe just more realistically in the middle of the night, double check the people that I've been forced to travel with, that nothing as weird has happened with them, double check that all of my gear exists.
Nothing weird at all. We don't need to talk about it.
Absolutely,
Hey, it didn't happen to
nothing has
me.
happened.
Yeah.
Nothing weird happened to me. So that's all that really matters right here.
You know, one thing you could do is if you can't necessarily improve the grog, you might invent like a water purifier. Some kind of like tablet.
I mean, that's
you might
fair.
drop in.
Except I'd have to be level 7 to get the invention feat.
Oh, fair. I forget that's actually a thing. That's sweet.
Well,
I guess we're gonna have to level up at least twice over the course of this meeting. Let me go kill some children and get us some experience points in the name of clean water.
Hey, yeah, if you kill the other 11 of those kids, then the kid will be alone, and then you can adopt him.
Yes, we did it. I'll get my apprentice and more levels.
oh, dear Lord.
Yeah.
So
I still haven't had a good use for my mage hand, but I can't think of anything I'd want to do throughout the night other than just make sure that all of my stuff exists.
So is this going to be you just look around your room, or is this going to be get up, wander around?
This is just like a get up, double check the backpack, double check like an inner shirt pocket, whatever, that I would probably set the money in, so you'd have to like so I would know if anyone went for my money.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, not a problem. Everything's there.
Okay. No, I'm just gonna get a good night's sleep.
Okay.
Good. One of us will be well rested for the encounter that Jason had planned.
No, it just means they've had more time to gather their forces.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
Including a family of irate halflings.
Yeah. We make our own bad guys in this game.
Hey, I have directly made no enemies.
We can't afford to be neutral on a moving train, Levi.
I'm just saying. I've made friends and I haven't made enemies. I haven't been neutral.
That's fair.
So the rest of the evening passes without incident. Since you are in rooms with no windows, you hear the bell from the port ring at sunup, like you've been told it's going to. And since you've asked to be woken up at or slightly before dawn, there's a knock at each of your rooms, and you hear the dwarf who's had the overnight shift say, wake up, you said you wanted to be up now.
Thank you.
I open the door and it's like, thank you, friend. It smells as delicious as I'm sure it will taste.
Yeah, it smells pretty savory.
Yeah, Caesar will also get up. Maybe not. Maybe today keep his mouth a little more shut than he had. Kind of make his way downstairs.
Okay.
So, how far away is the cartography shop?
Distance or time?
Distance.
Quarter mile at most.
Oh, good.
You can easily get there within your mile radius.
Yes, that is. Well, because the thing I was contemplating doing, I am obviously the fastest walker of the group. At a speed of 35 feet.
Yep. Got me
Yep.
beat.
So you're going to power walk to.
I'm gonna, for if there's like a loaf of bread or like piece of bread or something with breakfast or hunk of cheese or just any of that like grab and go, I'm gonna do that and then eat that while I power walk.
Yeah, you can. There are some cheeses, some small loaves of bread, like small roll intended for one per person for most people. So yeah, you can grab something if you're going to get out quickly. Is that your intent?
Yeah, and I'm gonna say I'm going to let my compatriots know I'll be right back with the map and a less
Nod with
dude
his bread and
voice.
water.
Thank you, elf friend.
Someone is
Amusingly enough,
this morning.
I'm pretty sure since elves are taller, I would say she's about 5'10".
Seems good.
He was only because he didn't know her. Now that he knows her and can trust her,
Yeah.
now he's much more open.
Yeah, that makes.
Oh, that was more a joke on you talking about little people.
Oh, right.
Boom.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
hopefully not real boom. Otherwise, the story's over.
No.
Okay.
Oh God, yeah.
Also, just a note, I'm glad that we're eating in game because I gotta wait till tomorrow afternoon to eat in real life.
Ooh, I also am quite hungry.
Hey, the day before payday struggle.
Yeah, accurate.
Yeah. So, you power walk to the shop. The proprietor is waiting for you. He is as you reach the door, you hear him yell, come in," before you touch it, right as you're
Cool.
reaching for it.
I will turn it as soon as my hand gets down, walk right in.
You see him, he has an easel up, and he is painting. But instead of using standard paints and brushes, he's basically doing pen and ink drawing. And the one, you're well traveled enough. Right now, he is doing a beautiful rendition of the arch at Riddleport.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh.
He's doing it in multiple colors, and you can tell he's almost in a ecstatic fury of artistic
Passion.
archiness. Passion.
Call it
For
you.
those of us who can't draw a stick figure without people thinking it's as weird as halflings think Silumgar is.
Yeah, I was gonna say me. As weird as me. Also, I can't draw to save my life either. Literally, if someone broke into my apartment, put a gun to my head, and said, "You have to draw good or you're dead." I'm sorry, guys. GG though. I can't. I cannot.
Yeah, I am not making it out either.
Okay.
Yeah. He says, he puts his pens down, says, "Oh, yes, yes, yes. Here." He rolls out a map in front of you. It is a very nice map. It's like a 2-rod scroll. When
Okay.
you lay it out, it's about 3 foot long, has some pretty good, shows the topography, it shows the routes, it has a number of towns and villages, though some of the villages have either question marks or an arrow pointing to an area where it's clearly indicating, I think it's in here.
Nice.
Hey, considering the state of near medieval or Renaissance level technology, that's not bad.
Yeah, fair.
And he has a route planned for you that should get you up to where you're going within about 15 days, is what he literally has sections marked per day.
Okay. So that gives us 9 days leeway.
Yeah, thereabouts.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like having extra time in case things go bad, so we don't die.
Yeah, for sure.
What's a couple extra days on your trip?
It's 9 days. We can go sightseeing. We can stop at the monastery that the Mortimerite wants to. Yeah, also side quests.
Okay.
I will thank him, and that is quite a piece of work you've got there. I would love to stay and talk to you more about your fine craftsmanship, but I do need to be going.
He does a very florid bow for you and says, "Thank you. And if you're ever back in this area and you need anything else, please, my shop is open for you."
I will give a little bow and walk out.
Okay. Okay.
And power walk back.
Okay. It's...
Geez, Lily's going to become the first fitness instructor in all of Galarian.
Nice. Goals.
I'll even have my own protein shakes.
Yes.
I will leave that where it lies. Okay, you get back about, call it 30 minutes later, because he spent the time to explain the route. And, when you reach this area up in the mountains, here are 3 different passes you can take. I think this one should be best, but if not, here's where you turn off for these 2. So quick.
A fuller understanding.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, you make it back to the boat in time for everyone to go.
Good.
And
When Lily gets back, Silumgar, well, let us see the map. Let us see where we are going.
I will. How long was it in total when unrolled?
3 feet? Is that what you said?
yes,
Okay.
like in sections of the mountains, I believe they're called the Hunger Mountains.
Yeah,
It's
that's right.
not just mountains be here. It is, you know, this is the mountain and this is the name of that mountain.
Okay.
So he's provided it's a good quality map. And it does stop pretty hard at the river, north of which is the World Wound.
Yeah.
But
I guess that makes a lot of sense to me why there would be a lot of castles on Ustalov's northern border, given that the Demon Apocalypse land is literally right on the other side.
Yes. So, well, it's your choice. They're in Numeria.
Yeah. Or where the science fantasy
Balkan.
laser guns are, or the orcs, or we could go south and that's where everyone hates Josh, or we could go the other south and that's where everyone hates me. I've made enough enemies.
Speaking of which, as y'all get on the boat, the Kelid individual is standing there. He chuckles when you walk on, Dale. When Lillian gets on, he, smiles because, hey, cute elf girl, who wouldn't? And Silumgar, as you walk to the boat, he puts an arm across the gangplank and looks at you.
Okay, I'll just kind of look, not as far up as everyone else in the party at 6 foot, but up at him, just, yes.
I don't know what your game is, but people around here watch out for each other. And I don't know if you have something weird about halflings or what.
Silumgar will simply put his hands up.
But it's good you're leaving town today.
Agreed.
If you come back, I would suggest you make your stay short.
Okay. So now there are 3 people in this game. He's an adult. There's the guy who put a collar on me, there's Brass Knuckles in Caliphus, and there's Kelly. Who, if this game goes a little too far, there may be assassination contracts. But for now, Silumgar is, of course. Bow.
You hear him mutter foreigners under his breath, and he moves out of your way and starts talking to the rest of the riverboat people as they start to move to push up the river and deeper into Ustalav. Okay. I will make this easy. You reach, of course, it's not Rosendale, it's Rosenport. Near sunset, you oversee the transfer of a couple of crates, including the one chest that Merle sent with you. And the Kelid says, all right, we're heading on to Hyannis, and then we'll be heading back. Boss said you were headed north. If y'all want to ride up to there, well, let me know.
Yeah, we're headed to Hyannis.
Does the map agree with that statement?
Yes, that is the fastest route.
Yeah, we're headed to Hyannis.
So then, where does the map say from Hyannis? Where do we go from there?
You can either the route he suggests is to cross the mountains through a pass that will take you slightly to the west, whereon you can get on another river and follow and take that river up to the border with the World Moon.
Okay. So that'll be Hyannis up to the river that'll pass by Kavapesta, maybe, if that's how you pronounce it? Or wrong river?
That's correct.
Yeah.
And then from
Cool.
Kavapesta, we'll cut past Ardis, Chastel, through Ardeal, and then onto through Adranto up north.
Yeah.
Seems good.
Cool.
So that is pretty much the shortest distance and fastest way. Now, admittedly, if you had good things going on, maybe you could make it faster by going through. But honestly, your best bet right now is to take that pass over the mountains, because given that you're in mountains, the river leading away from the mountains will have the current in your favor.
Makes sense.
So
it'll be a little harder on the way up, but the way down will be.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's why they're polling the.
That's why they're polling the boat.
So, yeah.
Makes sense.
So that's why y'all only made about 10 miles today.
Okay.
So he'll call. Go ahead.
I was going to ask if I actually could do some crafting while on the boat for roughly a day. If not, that's cool.
He's got a day of downtime. Unless we're like actively working on the boat.
Well, here comes the question. No, he's going to take a look at y'all and think probably not, because his crew are all Kelids and they're all fairly large.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
The shortest one is 6 foot.
Shortest one is me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because these guys are literally walking up to the front of a flat bottom boat, sticking a pole down into the water till it touches the river bottom, and then walking to the back of the boat while pushing the pole. So that's how they're moving the boat.
Makes
So
sense.
I'm like the little runt of the Kelids, just
compared to the Kelids.
they didn't.
Do we have
throw me-
quarters
they
on
didn't-
this boat? We don't.
They
Huh.
didn't throw me out at birth, and here I am.
What can I say? There are all lowercase Kelids. There are
Capital K Kelids.
capital K Kelids, which would be you. And then there are all caps Kelids, which would be them.
Every other Kelid ever. Do we have quarters on the boat? We don't, do we? It's not big enough.
No, it's at the rear. There's a section with a sun cover, but
Okay. Well, Steelumgar won't necessarily hide from everyone, but just like if we have nothing to do,
Yeah.
I just like if there's a section of the boat where I can practice my kata. That's what.
Yeah. Even if you, there are places you can do that if you're needing areas where there's, I don't know if your katas are more than just, the good old dojo style flat floor.
Mm-hmm.
If you were looking for ups and downs, there would be places where you could, go close to the side of the ship or up on a secure crate. But now for the most part, y'all can basically rest the day away.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to-
you can.
Some kind of downtime, something.
Yeah, I will say you can spend the equivalent of a day crafting, but I will add 5 to your DC because it's going to be a little harder. You can't, crank up the Bunsen burner that high.
Gotcha.
Makes sense.
They get a little worried about fire on ships.
That's fair.
Well, because what
As
I
you
wanted to do, hopefully shouldn't take too much actual fire, but I still get like moving around and hustle and bustle and the whatnot. I was just going to maybe see with what they had on board if I could like set up a barrel to have ferment for alcohol for later.
Okay. Okay. Here is the issue there.
Gotcha.
Are you going for a standard fermentation, or are you looking to do something alchemical?
I was probably going to use alchemy just because that's my main wheelhouse of what I'm good with.
Okay. I will say that if you are looking to do something exotic and alchemical to make if you just do standard brewing,
Okay.
I believe standard brewing would take 3 or 4 days to make a good beer.
So I was looking into beer fermentation before I said this. Apparently, you need to leave it in the thing for about 2 weeks.
Okay. So are you
What I was going to do was set it up and say, hey, open this up in 2 weeks, a gift from me.
That you can do easily on a scale of 1 to 10. Okay. I'll just say it this way. On a scale of 1 to 10, how good are you wanting this to be?
Seeing as they often enough drink grog, which is probably a 2 to a 3, I'm thinking maybe 5, 6.
Okay. For something that's really good for 20-gallon cask, I assume you would need to tell this to the lead Kelid, but call it 2 gold for everything you need.
Okay, that seems serviceable.
Okay. Then done. Go ahead.
I would like to spend my time on the boat trying to buy and sell things. Basically, I got some good things to sell, strangers.
Okay.
And then all of the Kelids kill Josh's character at once. Get a new one back when we get to hiatus.
Not with a 23.
It's fair.
No,
Okay.
I would say I forget what all you have on you.
Religious artifacts is what you said.
Okay. I thought you had sold either all or most of those to
Well,
Merle.
most of those, yes, but I've still got a few left.
Okay, yeah. Let me double check the rule book for.
I'm sure I've got a Gazra symbol or 2 here.
Yeah.
Given that they're all seafaring boys. Well, holy symbol goes for like 50 silver, I think. I know we checked it. Stand by. Where, oh, where? I don't care how it interacts with a Forge Warden. Just want to know how. I guess I need to look in, like. Still learning how this playtest works. Killing halflings, not knowing how much they cost. Abusing children, being weird, being a freak, one might say. Holy symbol will set you back. No, it's not in here under holy symbol. That's why I can't find it. Religious symbol is what it's in here.
Okay.
So a wooden one is a silver. A silver is 20. A wooden one is worth 1 silver piece. A silver one is worth 20 silver. And if you happen to have any religious texts on him, they are worth 10.
Okay, roll me a D10 and a D6. No, a D4. 1 D10, 1 D4.
Cool. Well, could be worse.
Okay, and yeah, okay. I will call that 1 religious text and 7 wood, 2 silver religious symbols. So you did, I would say, okay.
That'd be 37 silver total.
How much were the religious texts, did you say?
10 silver per.
10? Okay. I would say, are you going to trade, convert to cash, or both?
I'm converting to cash. Like I'm
Okay.
just selling them.
You're just flat out selling them. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and that makes sense because anything that's going to be really nice, they're going to keep for themselves. So I will say you can come out with 5 gold. So that's got to be higher than that. So we have one for 10. Yeah, you come out with 15 gold all told. I'll call that a pretty good roll. And that finishes up your inventory because some of the holy symbols were wood. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Right. That was the goal, was to whatever I had left, go ahead and try to sell it if I can.
Okay.
And that actually not only covers the drinks for the day, Selamgar, that also helps cover the 25 gold we spent.
Yes.
We made a little bit of it back.
Haha. Doomgar will nod thoughtfully and continue to practice his kata. And his mantras probably actually include, though I won't say them out loud in front of people that that would be upset to hear, but the name of, I forget his name, but the name of the guy who collared us in the first place, and since I don't know the name of Brass Knuckle or the name of Too Big Kellen, just like at the end of the mantra, just death to A, death to B, death to C, and then loop again. Maybe end like, I am not a freak. You're a freak. I am not a freak. You are a freak. Kill you all. Well, is that what we wanted to knock off? Is there anything else? Because we're sitting at the 3-hour mark here.
Yeah, that y'all get to Hyannis safely, and that's where we will pick up the following morning.
With the next guy who will have a collar,
Yep.
and I'm sorry about it, Ross. Thank you guys so much for watching on Twitch or on YouTube. Thank you, Levi, Josh, Jason, again for hanging out. That was, I don't get to play an evil character very often. Matter of fact, I can't remember the last evil character I played that wasn't an NPC. So it's super sweet to do terrible, suspicious things, and I didn't die, so that was great. And be sure to like and subscribe, because I will probably eventually die, and you don't want to miss it, but we'll see you next time. Say bye, guys.
Bye.
Peace out.
Later, freaks.
Laters.